This is what I'm going to show you how to make today. Hope everyone's having a good day out there. I was watching this old, like, experimental animation film. I think this is from 1949, yeah. Check out the music. And I was thinking, this kind of sounds like techno noises, right? So, we're going to chop this up, make some techno out of it today. Come along for the ride. Here we go. See, I like to just have like 2 audio tracks in Ableton, and then you can just chop it, and you just put one under the other, and then... I mean, this is like modular in 1949. Okay, so we got a bunch of samples. Like I said, it's a 2-track method. So once I get to here, I usually just delete that top track because it's just going to confuse you to keep that in there. I mean, you could say like, oh, maybe later I'll go and get some more samples from it, but usually it just ends up being overthinking. So you can put these together and you can make a little loop. Like now we got some call and response. And these 2 are talking to each other as well. Okay, you gotta make sure you don't have any like clicking here. You gotta fix the fades on these when you're doing this type of sampling for sure. See, it's not that hard. You just need something that has like a cool little sequence going on. Also, the fact that it's not warped still is kind of working in its favor because it's a little bit off there, but you can hear it. It goes really well. Now, we're going to high pass this too because this needs to fit over top of that. And right now, they're kind of clashing. And let's sidechain it to that loop as well. Layer. We're not like overdoing it at all. It's just like a layer in there. And see how these can work together. It's like it doesn't really matter what your source comes from. This could be a synth. You can make these exact same sounds with a modular synth, or you can just make them this way. It's just what you do with it. It's like the way that we have these 2 kind of talking to each other, where one is pretty steady, and then this thing obviously has that whole call and response. And then you get that, which is like constantly hitting you, and then you also have this, which just comes at the end of the bar. And it's really more about like doing that with it than it is like where you get the sound from. That's kind of the point of this video. It's like, you don't need to have any gear to do this. You can literally do this with like a base model laptop, like with just a YouTube video. Like the thing that you use to make the sound, it's only the sound. It's just what you do with it. And obviously, you know, if you put that over this, right? So it's also about the foundation you put it on. Whether you get the sound from your modular synth and you spend 8 hours making the sound, or you just grab it from a YouTube video that you kind of randomly stumble upon, is really what you do with it and what you put it over top of. Because as much as it is the cool sounds that you have, it's also like the foundation underneath it. Like those sounds are only as cool as that foundation will allow it to be. Also with these percussion samples, I'm not going to try to like oversaturate it or do too much with drum busts or anything like that, because it's kind of already got the texture. Like with the other thing, it's like, okay, well, it was very dull, like you wanted it to be a little bit more saturated, so I added distortion. Here it's like you want this to just kind of be what you're sampling it for, what it already is. You're not really trying to take it and do much more to it. That's when it starts to get really messy and it gets lost. I've done that a lot in the past and I've learned my lesson. See, it's all like what you need to cut. And then maybe just boost the highs. Even if it brings out some hiss, it'll just give it like... See, there we go. We got a whole other sequence right here. So you can do a lot with these samples. And then we'll put a little bit of delay on that. Again, filter delay is your best friend because you can really just like add a lot of texture. So we have our cool sounds, right, that we've sourced either from wherever we're going to get them, whether it's a YouTube video or it's this modular synth or anything in between. We have different sequences that we created. We have a nice foundation as well, like some good drums and like a good side chain. And the whole thing is like grooving together pretty well, right? Now we have to actually execute it as a song, right? It's not enough to just have this. This is essentially the color palette. We need to actually paint the picture. So we need to have like a concept for what's going to happen with this if you're going to put all these sounds together, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have these two loops kind of like wind in and out of each other, and that's like the concept of this track. Okay, so I've used the sidechain to kind of lay out a structure here for the track. But basically what we have is we have 1, which is like the intro, right? We got 2, which is where the intro is kind of going to drop down a little bit. 3 is we come back, it's like full energy. It's like that's going to be the part that we're going to work on first, where we're going to have the loops flipping between each other. And then we're going to have 4 where it's kind of going out. So, and then we'll have a full track by the end of this. So we're going to start, like I said, with that main part. And that's really the goal. When you make a track like this, where you're trying to like execute this idea of these loops together, you have to start with this main part, but you have to actually like know where that's going to be. Because if you don't know, you're going to just kind of be lost. You're going to make it, and then you're going to feel like, well, where do I go from here? How do I make it like go up? By doing this now, I know I can just make the most energetic part, and then everything is either down or building up to this. Here in the last bar, we'll have this thing come in again. See, so now when you come back, it kind of transitions better. And now we can make that kind of evolve and transform even more over time. We can also just lay out the whole drums for the track right now too. So let's take the kick here, and that's just going to go all the way through up until 2. We'll do little parts where it cuts. Alright, so we got the full track done. Yeah, I got all the automation. You can see it's a super simple track. We have the loops, we have the side chain, we have these little dark vocals I added. Just some nice background effects without being too much. We have the percussion loop and all the drums. On the kick, I added some automation and some parts where it cuts out. You know, I mixed everything as well and added a few cutouts with this little reverse. The snare is like the 16th note snare. And we also have the clap, which has this echo. And you can hear that kind of like builds up a bit too. I also took all the little sounds in this group and mixed them nicely, and I changed the pitch of some of them. I put a bunch of like just sound design stuff on here to really clean that up and make it sound a lot more like full. But there it is. So I just want to make this video to show you guys, like, you can literally just make a track out of anything. It doesn't matter if you make these sounds using a modular synth or if you sample them from a YouTube video from 1949. It's literally just like whatever you use. You just have to know how to execute a good track. As you can see, we were able to make a full entire techno track out of this. You can literally play tonight on the club. I'm going to master this and throw it on my website. If you want to hear the full track, it's going to be up there. And you can also grab this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, literally everything that you saw in this video is available right at the top of the description on my website. And you can hear the full entire 7-minute track arrangement. So yeah, thank you so much for the support, guys. Definitely go there, grab this. It's a really great way to support not only me, this helps me, because I really don't make a whole lot off of YouTube for all these videos that I made, but also this really is going to help support you because you can take this and literally it's a full track template I've just made for you. You can build tracks out of this. You can learn from it. You can even just release this as your own track for all I care. People have done it before. Link is at the top of the description. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want to see more of this new style of content. Have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.